Ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Who are ready?
Okay, hi everyone. Everyone knows me, America. So today the training I'm going to do on is supervisor training, and the reason I decided to do it on this is because. Should I join our business? Is because it's probably the most important part of the marketing plan. Now, I know some of you guys are supervisors, so if this is kind of, oh, I know this, then have you got supervisors on your team? Because if you don't, then you don't know this. So it's really important that everyone understands what supervisor is and how to get there. And how to get there fast. Because I think the big thing about supervisor is that when you start the business, like anything, if you put things off, they become a big deal. So if you, I don't want to sponsor anybody and I'm going to wait, 1 or 2 months and I know everything. 2-3 months gone and you're terrified to contact somebody. You know what I mean? So I just think at the beginning, just whoever wants to, get to supervisor, get to manager, they just need to do it straight away. Like people get supervisor in 2 weeks. There's no word of a lie. You see it success days. People pump to supervisor in 2 weeks. So what I'm going to do is literally I'm going to go through some of the slides that I've done. Then I'm going to ask Emma to talk just about the new training that she's kind of learned. This is a different kind of idea, which is really good. And then I'm going to ask Sinead, who's turning supervisor in the next few days, just give a little bit of testimonial about supervisor, okay? So, what is supervisor? When you're a supervisor, it means you are a leader. So generally you have somebody on your team. Now you're a leader before you get supervisor from the second that you do sponsor somebody in. But you are a leader. And the reason I have that here is because being a supervisor, it means that you have a team to supervise. So that's why it's really important that you get to supervisor with a team, rather than buying a load of clean nines and selling them off. Because you're going to end up being a supervisor, but you have nobody to supervise. You need to be generating a team of 4cc active distributors. So obviously you need to understand why it's really important to be 4cc's and why it's really important for your team to be 4cc's. You'll hear loads of stories that people miss out on really, really simple things because they weren't 4cc active. Like the big example is the Ego Manager Retreat. You have to be 4cc active from the qualification period. So like let's say, Ego Manager starts in May and you may not realize you're going for Ego Manager until August. If you weren't 4cc active in May, June, July, you're out, even if you do all the other requirements. So like I think this is really important to understand that. A supervisor's business is about 20 case credits, per month. So like you're talking a good couple of €100 check, which is really good. So supervisor is where a lot of people want to be. Some people don't want to be a manager. They don't like the idea of having a big, massive team, but they do like the idea of having a small little team where they can generate a couple of €100 per month. To be a supervisor, you need to be capable of doing your own one-to-ones and doing your own launches. And I think this is absolutely... Hi, guys. Hi. I think this is absolutely, completely key. That if you want to be a supervisor, you need to act like one before you become one. So like anything, it's all about your mindset. If you want to be a manager, you start acting like a manager. If you want to be a supervisor, you start acting like a supervisor. And to do that, you need to make sure that you're 4cc active, that you're able to do your own launch, that you're able to do your own one-to-ones. And if you're not able to do them, learn how to do them. Like who, was it Sinead that you said to me that she had a phone call with a guy today in the sports world? She studied the RG for 2 hours before she spoke to him on the phone. She didn't want to seem like an idiot. Like, do you know what I mean? If you that's the exact same principle as going to meet somebody to talk to them about the business. Like, if you want to talk to them about the business, you should be able to know how to talk about it. And if you don't know how to talk about it, you need to learn how to talk about it. And to learn how to talk about it, you need to come to business presentations and go to the one in Santry and go to the one in City West and look at all the YouTube clips on them until you can literally sing. And it's 30% plus 5% bonus plus 18% bonus when you get to manager, blah, 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 blah. And you need to be able to use and coach your steps to manager booklet. So make sure that in all your meetings with your team, and when you're kind of doing your own work at home, that you use it. They don't just make these for the crack, that you use it. Like there's a reason why, there's sheets in here, like the product, would you use it, who do you know that would use it. It's to generate a customer base. It's to generate a list of people that may be possibly in your business. So make sure that you do use it, you're really familiar with it. Like there's nothing as bad as you sponsoring your best friend tomorrow and you're meeting them and you're like, so, you have a forever business. Like, you need to go and be like, okay, forever business, you've got your box, and use your booklet so that you're really, really professional. And I suppose being supervisor is just the stepping stone for everything, because everything is duplicating supervisor. You become supervisor, to get to manager, you do supervisor twice. To get to ego manager, you do supervisor every month. Like, everything's just duplicating supervisor. So when you do reach supervisor, it's a great little way. So how to get supervisor? You need to just go and do it. It's as simple as that. How do we grow our business? We use our products, we share our products, we share our business, and we coach our team. It is as simple as that. So Emma, I'm going to get you to come and talk, because there's a really good metaphor to use just about doing it. So go.
Thank you.
I'm standing in front of my camera there.
Oh, it's so cold. I don't like I'm in Antarctica. Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm listening to the Big Al at the moment, Big Al theory, and I suppose something kind of clicked, a light bulb moment with me over the weekend. His thing is that you can learn, but you can only learn by going to do it, okay? And we can give you all the training in the world, we can help you, we can support you, we can guide you, but what you need to learn is the skills, okay? And as a teacher, Jackie, you'd agree with me, the most and the best way and the most efficient way to people learn is by doing it, okay? That's the way most of our students learn. In a home ec class, I can tell them and go through a recipe and explain how to make cupcakes. Until they do it, they don't know it. So, a little exercise. With your partner beside you, I want you to explain what chocolate tastes like. Chocolate tastes like. Okay? Think about how chocolate tastes and then explain to the person beside you how chocolate tastes. Can you do it? Can you explain to somebody that they get that feeling of chocolate in their mouth, how chocolate tastes?
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Do you know, can you explain to somebody how chocolate tastes? Or would the cleverest thing to do be give them a piece of chocolate and let them taste for themselves?
Yeah.
What would work? Explain it or giving them a piece of chocolate? We can't explain the experience of tasting chocolate. You have to just do it yourself. If you, again, like that, teaching somebody how to make cupcakes, I can give them the recipe and we can go through it, but until they do it, they don't know what they're doing. It's the same with network marketing. We give you the skills. You have everything in your box to do it. Okay, you have your products, use them, and then you know how to recommend them. You have your literature. Use it, learn the skills, and then just go and do it. I can teach you how to make a phone call. We can write scripts. If you don't go and make that call, you will never know how. And people say to me, how do you get to manager, and how do you do this, and how do you do that? I just learned my skills and I went, and the only way I learned was from making mistakes, evaluating it and doing it again. And going and doing it and keep on doing it and keep on doing it. I've been doing it 3 years now, and yes, I have a great salary and I've got a great income from Forever, thanks to Forever, but I didn't at the start. I was the exact same as the first person to buy their box, sit there and go, okay, what do I do now? I went, I used all the products. I went and I made my phone calls. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. We didn't have the scripts then. I went and I sent texts, I went and I emailed people. We didn't have the trainings that we have now, but I went and did it. And you can sit here every single night if you want, and you can go to every single training. But if you don't put that into practice, and if you don't go and do it, you are going to be sitting here an assistant supervisor for the next 3 years. Because you're going to keep on going to training and take lovely, lovely notes, but if you don't go and do it, you are not going to be a manager. You are not going to bring in money, okay? By doing the skills and practicing the skills, it's income producing activity. And by doing it, you're going to earn money. I know I sound like I'm giving out here, but when I was in the car and Big Al was saying, like, all the training people are going to hate me because it doesn't work. And he did the chocolate thing, and I was in the car and I was like, how do I describe chocolate? And I was like, I really want to buy chocolate now, but I couldn't describe what chocolate tastes like. And then I went into class and I was teaching some of the kids, and I was like, they only learn by doing. Again, like going to do activities, they only learn by doing it. So the whole thing is, yes, come to trainings, get the knowledge, but don't take lovely notes and don't go and implement it. Go and actually make that phone call. You can take notes, you can make beautiful notes, but go and make the phone call. Get over the fear, just do it. Okay? And it is his theory, and he's a very, very successful person. But I suppose if you learn something today and then go and do it tomorrow, like Sinead, Sinead came to me, and I'll let her tell your story now in a second, but 3 months ago, and sat there and was like, if I don't give you the money now and get my box, I'm not going to do it, so I'm just going to give you the money. I just gave me the money. I was like, here's how you make your calls. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it, so I'll just do it. And it has worked, because in 3 weeks, and Sinead will share a story now, she's made supervisor, okay? And that's from going and doing this, using the skills necessary and following the marketing plan. So what are we going to go do? Let's make our calls.
It's bringing me back like a flashback of when I was in school or at home and struggling with like fractions. And I remember my stepfather used to sit down with me and like show me how to do fractions, but then he'd make you do them. It's the same principle. I can't just watch you showing me how to do them. I need to learn how to do them myself. But still not very good at fractions, but it's okay. I don't need to be. Okay, so I just think that was really good, the whole chocolate thing. Nobody can describe what chocolate tastes like. But that's the whole idea, to go and do it and to figure out and just to make your mistakes. As I said, everything is in the booklet. I mean, there are so many YouTube clips. There are so many videos. Really kind of think to yourself what you feel that you're lacking right now. And just go home and fix it. And just do it. You know? So, to get to supervisor, you need to have, you know, an average 4 people on your team. So that's 4 people doing 4 CCs, which is 16 CCs. It's averagely every month. Contact and empower your team. So communicate with your up and down line. To deal with disappointments, obviously these will happen. I'm sure everybody has run into disappointment already. You know, that's just happens. Fight for what you want, failure is not an option. So you need to just decide if you're going to do the marketing plan or not, and then just when you're going to do it, what your deadline is, and just do it. Just literally go and do it. End of story. Just do it. Okay. So month 1 for supervisor. That's really nice. I'm going to do that next week when you're up. So month 1 for supervisor is an average of 10 case credits. So you have 4, your person Joe has 4, and your new person Jack has 2. So let's just say right now you're on your own. It's the 2nd of the month. 2nd of February, so you have nothing. You're 0 case credits at the moment. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is become 4CC active. Maybe you need to do another launch. Maybe you need to contact your customers. Maybe you need to ring all your customer base, say, hey, I'm placing my order. Do you need 2 bottles of gel? Maybe you need to do that. Why don't you do that tomorrow? That will be the 3rd of February, so hopefully you'll be 4 CCs then. Sponsoring 2 people. So if you want to get 10 CCs this month, to sponsor these 2 people, and you need to do that now. There's no point waiting until the 20th of February and be like, oh, probably should contact my 2 people. You need to contact them now, because they mightn't be available to meet you until maybe next week. They may not be able to do their launch until the week afterwards, and that still gives you time to get one of them, I'm only saying one of them, 4CC active. Does that make sense to everybody? 2 people, a team of 3 including yourself, 2 out of the 3 being 4CC active. It's done. It's the 2nd of February, you have the entire month to do this. That's month 1. Month 2 is with the same 3 people. You're 4 CCs. Joe is 4 CCs. He was 4 CCs last month. And your new person is now 4 CCs. We've done that. And this. We're literally doing exactly what we're going to do this month. We're just sponsoring our 2. Now, there are loads of ways to do this. These are just the 2 easiest things. 2 months, sponsor 2 people. You'll have them all 4. And you'll have a new person in who maybe just came in the last week and didn't have a chance to do a launch. But that means that you are in control of becoming supervisor. Because you personally sponsored 4 people. You're not saying, oh, I sponsored on Joe and he's great. He's a list of 100 people he's going to sponsor too. That's letting Joe do it for you. You're saying, no, I am going to dictate getting supervisor, which means I need to bring 4 people into my team over the next 2 months. And I need to help them become 4CC active. Does that make sense? Month 1, you, right now. Some of you are just here. Some of you maybe have 2 people on their team. We need to get that. Next month, same thing, except Jack is 4 CCs, but we have 2 new people in now as well. Yeah. And also as well, like just in terms, like I always think, we're always talking about like 4 CCs and stuff and a good launch. Make sure that you do have a good launch. So that if you are organizing a launch, that people are actually at it, number 1. And that there's a good couple of people in the room so that you do get to 4 CCs. Like there's no point having 3 people in the room. You won't, you might sell 2 bottles of gel. And then you'll be miserable. And that's not time efficient. The big thing that everyone comes into this business, they all have other things going on. Whether it's they have kids, they have work, they I don't know, anything. Like, they're busy. Everyone's busy. So, like, just try and be productive with your time. So I would always think that, like, a quiet launch is being very unproductive. You're wasting 3 hours of your night. You could have made 100 phone calls in 3 hours. You know? So just look at things like that. If you're doing a launch, and if your team, when you're helping your team being forced to act that they're doing a launch, absolutely stress to them, there needs to be 10 people in that room, or I'm not going. There has to be 10 people in that room, minimum. Also, as well, I always find they're awkward if there's very few people there. Do you ever get that? It's like feeling awkward because people feel pressured. The more people that are there, it doesn't matter if I don't find anything because all these other people are. You know, like, I think people think like that. So there's also much more banter in the room, and it's just more. I think it's more easygoing when there's more people there. So does that make sense? That was meant to be month 2 written up there. That was a mistake. Oh well. So what I want to do now is I want you to get your pen and paper out. And I want you to profile the 3 people that you're going to contact in the next 20 minutes. So does everybody know how to profile somebody? I feel like I'm in Criminal Minds profiling people. So you can write down their name, what they do, how you know them, who they are. And this might sound silly, like why am I bothering doing this? The reason why we do this is so when you communicate with somebody, you act like a professional. You don't just ring them and end up being on the phone to them for an hour, which I have done many of times, and none of them are my business. So it's really important that you contact them professionally. Like, you might know this person really well. I would always suggest, if you know a person really well, you're ringing them on a different note. So you're not ringing them for a chat. Ring them back that night for a chat if you want to. But ring them for this sole purpose. Or contact them by Facebook for this sole purpose. So if you write down 3 people and their names and who they are and why you thought of them right now and why you want them in your business. Why? What do you like about them? Are they nice? Are they funny? Are they broke? Are they want a new car? Do they have kids? Do they work part-time? Do they work full-time? Do they need to bring in extra money into their house? Do they want a new house? Do they want to get married? Are they married? What else? They want to meet new people, get a hobby, set up their pension, lost loads of money, are they in debt? Do they have loads of money but have no time? They want to go on holidays? Do you just feel that they'd be really good at this because they're just nice? You think you'd like to work with them, they're nice, they're bubbly, they're positive, they have a good attitude. You've met people at Success Day that remind you of them. There's people in the room that remind you of them. I remind you of them. I remind you of them. They're going to be dead here, isn't it? Not that many people heard that. Only some got that one. Have they got a business? Do they have a traditional business? Do they work in the bank? Do they have a physio? Are they a vet? Do they like dogs? Do they like cats? Do they hate dogs? Do they hate cats? Who are you thinking about? Profile them. The main reason that you're writing down is why you want them in your business. Why you thought of them. You probably have 1,000 people that you know and you've thought of 3 right now because I told you to think of 3. So why them? So how are you going to contact them? Are you going to ring them now? Are you going to Facebook them on your phone? Are you going to text them? How are you going to contact them? 3 people. It's now nearly half. At 1:45, we're going to all talk again. Whether you can leave and ring, make a phone call, or you can text, or you can go on Facebook, or whatever you want. You're one. So you're going to pause with this.